Hey guys, okay, so this is gonna be the setup for this video because my tripod is in my closet and I don't feel like getting it out. So I just tried going live on YouNow and my computer's being a little bit just so I can't pull it up. So anyways, here, what's on my agenda for this stand-up video? Let's see. Okay, so this is my first thing for my stand-up thing. So basically what I'm doing now is, like, I'm just testing out, like, stand-up bits. If you guys could leave a comment below, like, which one's funny, which one isn't. Like, this is really stupid. What, you know what I mean? Like, I just need some sort of feedback because I want to do stand-up next week in New Orleans because we're leaving on Saturday. So, and there's a few comedy clubs down there that have open mic nights. And I would really like to do it at the House of Blues, but we'll see what happens when we get there. Okay, so when I was in 7th grade, about halfway through the year, this boy came. He was new, and his name was Gabe, and he was very strange. And I befriended him right away because he kind of had, like, he was very, like, he was really weird, like, school shooting weird, and so I was like, okay, I'm going to be covering my tracks by befriending this kid. So every day we'd walk home together, and he lived on the street below me, and we'd part ways at this corner store called Fred's. And so one day, usually we'd peace out, like, we'd talk for a couple minutes, and I'd be like, alright, Gabe, see you tomorrow, boop, 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 and go home. And one day, he, like, grabbed my arm, and he was like, I want you to come over. And I was like, you know what, Gabe, like, I'd love to come over, but I've got, like, so many chores to do, and literally, if my mom comes home and my chores aren't done, she's gonna freak out. So, like, literally, all I wanted to do was go home and, like, go in my space, but, like, I have chores. I have responsibilities as a 13-year-old Gabe. I cannot come over. And so he was like, oh, and I was like, yeah. And so I, like, went to leave again. He was like, but I really need you to come over. And so I was like, okay. And we walked to his house. And before I go any further, I just want to, just inform everyone. I'm kind of a religious person, but in 7th grade, like, I was extremely religious. Like, if you think about Westboro Baptist, but without the violence, that was basically me. And so we go into his home, and his mom's sitting in the living room, and I'm just like, hello, how are you? It's nice to meet you, because I had, manners. And so his bedroom was in the basement, and I was like, hell yeah, but I didn't, like, say that because, remember Westboro. I was like, oh, that's cool, you have a bedroom basement, that's awesome. And so we go down, and literally, this is not a joke, on the floor in front of me, like, literally painted on the floor in red, a giant pentagram. And I was like, is God testing me right now? I was like, I'm going to die in this room. And he looks, and he was like, oh, don't worry about that, it was here when we moved in. Okay. And then I look up, and he has witchcraft books. There's candles on the shelves, and I was just like, it was here when you moved in, huh? Great! And so we're just talking, we're just standing there. Like, it wasn't even, I don't know why he even brought me over. He was like, yeah, these are some of my blah, blah, blah books, blah, blah, blah. And I was just standing there like, okay, great. And so his brothers just, like, walk in, and they're like super young, so I'm guessing like ages 5 and 7, and they leave, and he's like, oh yeah, they're gay. And I was like, what is happening? Literally, why? First the pentagram, witchcraft books, and your brothers are gay? They're like 5. Like, how do you know that? So, I mean, obviously, I'm sure they wouldn't lie about that, but like, it was just a very odd thing to tell me when we're just standing there, and I barely know you. And I was like, what is happening? Why are you outing your brothers to me? And so I was like, Gabe, like, I really need to get home. Like, by this point, I had, like, 20 minutes to, like, bust out the dishes from the dishwasher and clean the litter box and empty my trash out. So I was like, I need to go now. And he was like, okay. And we start walking up the stairs, and he turns around, and he's like, Megan, I'm really glad you came over. And I was like, cool, thanks for having me over. And he was like, if you hadn't have come over, I would have killed you. And I was like, what the And so literally I was just standing there and I was like, oh, okay. And so I go upstairs and I'm like, thank you so much for having me over, Mrs. Blah, blah, blah. And she was like, come again. And I was like, will I come again? No! And so I literally ran out the back door. I ran home and I cried. I was like sobbing, like, oh, oh, putting the dishes away. That was my awful experience with Satan himself. I'm sorry, this video is like all over the place. I'm just like, I'm sick, I'm dying, but I'm also thinking about the Girl Scout cookies I'm getting in a few hours, and I'm like, oh my god. And I'm seeing that new movie Get Out too today, so I'm like, oh my god, today's amazing. My eyebrows look so good today. I filled them in so well. Second story. So, I graduated with a degree in anthropology with an emphasis in archaeology. And so I took this class. It was called Archaeological Lab. It was like lab archaeology, something like that. So basically, most of the semester was us cleaning artifacts from the dig that we did the summer before and like cataloging them and stuff like that. Towards the end of the semester, we had to do a group project. I love group projects. But so my group did, it was like, we were trying to find if there was a correlation between, this group of people's diet versus the size of their teeth over time. Like if the change in their diet affected, like the size of their teeth. I don't know. So we were looking at a couple of dead bodies. When I say dead bodies, I mean like bones. And there was this dig that they did in the 80s, and they had like cremations, like bags and bags of these ashes left over. And so we were sorting through these to see if we could find tooth enamel. And so for the project, so we were sorting, and we were using like those sifters. There's like several levels, so the holes get smaller. And we were also measuring by liters in this like giant jug that had like the liter marked off or whatever. And so we were just, sitting there, I was just sifting away like, what is that Seven Dwarfs song? Like that one. Hi-ho, that's it. Basically me for like 3 weeks. But so I'm just sitting there like, and my professor comes over and he's like, how are you guys doing? Like, here, let me help you out. And so he starts helping us. And then he goes to pour the ashes back into the little plastic bag after we've like measured and sifted and didn't find anything. And so instead of hitting the plastic bag, it missed and it hit me. So if you can imagine just a flurry of like, ash just like covering my body. It went into my purse because my purse was open by my feet. I was so surprised that I gasped, so I inhaled it. And I've never been so angry in my entire life. And I literally was just sitting there with just dead body all over me. And I looked up and my professor had tears in his eyes because he was laughing so hard. And I was like, I almost threw up because I was like, I just inhaled someone. Why? And I was just so angry. And so I just was like, I just looked at him and I was like, I'm done. And I kind of went, pat, pat, and poofed off of me. And I grabbed my bag and I grabbed my books and I was like, I'm not cleaning up my station. I'll see you guys, like, in 2 days or whatever. Because it was like twice a week. And so I went home, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward a couple of months. Okay, so I did wash the clothes I was, wearing. I did not wash my purse. And so, like, when you pat the outside of my purse, it would poof. There was also still, like, ashes on the inside. So it was, like, that's my mistake. Like, I'm disgusting. Like, I should have taken care of that, but I did not. So let's fast forward to New Year's. I think it was New Year's Eve. So I went out with my friends and got super drunk, and we went back to my friend Regan's house, and that's where I stayed the night. And the next morning I was like, oh God, I felt horrible. I was like, guys, I have to go home. I need to sleep. And so I left, and like whenever I would like drink that much, like the next day I would get like a big greasy burger just to kind of like nibble on and kind of soak up whatever was left over. So I went to Sonic. I don't know if you guys know what Sonic is. It's like one of the best places on earth. So I ordered Sonic, and I was in the drive-thru, and I was in that space between where you order and where, like, you pull up to the window. So there's like someone behind me and someone in front of me. And then it hit the feeling, and I was like literally trying to breathe, and I was like, Megan, you cannot throw up right now. You're literally about to pay for a burger. What are you doing with your life? And so I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, please, God, I can't. Like, I need the Lord's strength to keep me from throwing up right now. Yeah, it didn't work. It's karma. So, like, literally, I freaked out. I dumped out my bag. I dumped out everything from my bag and just hurled in it. Let me remind you, this is the same bag from the ash incident. So, like, I literally just threw up on, like, ashes. And I'm also going to hell. So that's literally, like, one of the worst incidents that's ever happened to me. I threw up on a dead guy. Alright. Okay, so I don't know if this is going to work because I'm sick. But I've also got, like, I don't have good impressions. I have horrible impressions. So these are my horrible impressions. Okay. So first I've got Robert De Niro. You talking to me? I can't do it. I've got Pee Wee Herman. Sorry, I'm sick, so I don't know if this one's gonna work.
I know you are, but what am I?
That was really bad, too. Christopher Walken. More cow. I can't do that one. More cowbell. That was really bad. Alright, I always end it with, if you guys know who James Blunt is, if you want to Google him really quick, he came out with this single, like, years ago, like 10 years ago or something, and it was called You're Beautiful, and I, like, swear to God, I can do his voice so well. Like, it's really good. So, I hope you guys are ready for my James Blunt impression. I have to, like, get into character. I have to, like, think I'm on the beach in that music video. In the rain. Okay. Are you ready? You're beautiful. You're beautiful. It's true. I saw your face in a crowded place, and I don't know what to do, 'cause I'll never be with you. So that one's not a bad impression because it's spot on. I'm literally James Blunt in that moment, so suck it. Everything else I cannot do. That's the only impression I can do, and those are the only words I can say is James Blunt. But I'm working on it. So guys, if you can just, like, let me know what you think about what I just did. Which bits were funny, which were, like, stupid AF. To each their own. Charlize Theron. So, alright. Oh, I guess this is the bit where I'm like, hey, okay, so if you want to, like, click in this, where my TV is, in this general direction, a few weeks ago, / like a month ago, I made a mockumentary called Against the Grain, and it's literally, I adapted it from the Bread Hands video we made about 3 years ago. That's 30 seconds long. I turned that into a 6-minute video, and it's really funny, and I love it if you guys can watch it whenever you have 6 more minutes of your time to spare. It's really great, and I wrote it with my sister Lauren, and I made my best friend Marcus star in it as Bread Hands again. So thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you for your feedback, and I really appreciate it. And I'll see you later. Bye!